As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's This Day in History.
Yep, as we count down to America's 250th birthday next July, we are sharing our We the People series, the people, places, and things of the past that have shaped our country into what it is today. We got our very own Captain America here today, Charlie Shortino, for our This Day in History segment. What do you got, Charlie?
All right, let's see what we have for today. On this day, October 16th, 1968, the Milwaukee Bucks played their first game in franchise history at home against the Chicago Bulls. The game was played in what was then known as Milwaukee Arena, in now what is more commonly known as the Mecca. More than 8,400 fans were in the stands. The Bulls went on to win, final score 89-84 over the Bucks. The Bucks lost the first 5 games of the inaugural season before picking up a win against the Detroit Pistons. Their 27-55 record meant they would pick first in the NBA draft, where they chose NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He led the Bucks to a title in only their 4th year of existence. That's this day in history, October 16th.
All right, so the Bucks not being that good their very first year led to them getting Lou Alcindor, Kareem the Dream.
Right.
Wow, yeah. I'll take that.
One of the highest scorers in NBA history, was for a long time.
Yeah, he's
recently surpassed.
One of the top probably 5 players of all time, definitely.
Yep.
All right, Charlie, thank you for that.
Sure.